Now to the Trump administration's immigration crackdown as it escalates its attacks on a federal judge in the legal battle over the deportation flights of hundreds of Venezuelans. Our chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce is tracking the very latest. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning, Lindsay. Well, the Trump administration is now facing a federal judge's deadline in just hours. The court demanding more information about these deportation flights and whether they violated the judge's order. This morning, the court demanding answers, giving the Trump administration until noon today to turn over information about those hasty deportation flights carrying hundreds of Venezuelan migrants who the White House says are violent gang members.
Our lawyers are working on this. We will answer appropriately.
But so far, the administration has been stonewalling. Judge James Boasberg says he wants specifics about when exactly the flights took off and left U.S. airspace, after the administration ignored his verbal directive to turn the planes around and return the migrants to the U.S. immediately. Boasberg writing that he's seeking this information not as an unnecessary judicial fishing expedition, but to determine if the order was deliberately flouted, and if so, what the consequences should be. But the White House escalating its fight with the judiciary.
They are trying to dictate policy from the President of the United States. They are trying to clearly slow walk this administration's agenda, and it's unacceptable.
Boasberg, acting within his authority, is examining the president's use of a rarely used law, the Alien Enemies Act of 1798, to deport the Venezuelan migrants with little to no due process. The administration insists the men deported were all gang members, but has not released their identities and provided little evidence of the threat they posed, citing privacy concerns.
We're not going to reveal the operational details of a counterterrorism operation for quite obvious reasons.
Asked if the country is nearing a constitutional crisis, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer weighing in.
Our democracy is at risk because Donald Trump shows that he wishes to violate the laws in many, many different ways.
The president even calling for the impeachment of Boasberg. And now sources tell ABC News Elon Musk, the world's richest man, has been making maximum donations up to $3,500 to the congressional campaigns of several Republicans who have publicly spoken out against Boasberg and backed calls for his impeachment. But Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski of Alaska is warning of the dangers of the administration's showdown with the judiciary.
When the court's orders are defied, that weakens our courts. When the people no longer believe that the system of justice is there for them, what do we have in this country?
And now this morning, sources tell us that the Trump administration is considering dramatically expanding the role of the U.S. military along the southern border. The plan, sources say, includes creating a buffer zone along the border that would allow military personnel to temporarily hold migrants who cross into the U.S. illegally until federal law enforcement arrives. George.
And Mary, the president spoke with President Zelensky of Ukraine yesterday.
He did, and after speaking for an hour, Ukrainian President Zelensky says he is prepared for a 30-day ceasefire focused on energy and other civilian infrastructure targets. He says he hopes this would be the first